Did you remember Father's cream last year? And how about this year? How will you remember Father's cream is the only cream for fathers to have on their pud? Yes, every father likes pud and needs their own cream for it. And this cream is Brill, though it is not the Brill cream that your father uses to style his thinning hair into a quiff.
Hello folks, it's I, Avery Wade, for this special fuggcast film show special. And what a show it will surely be. I'll be listing my favourite films of 2024 and also reading some of the letters from listeners and also just chatting about my life and how I'm never allowed into my actual house. I was allowed in on Christmas Day though, briefly for Chrissy Din-Dins, and then it was back to the kennel for me with a pocket full of turkey and a pocket full of stuffing and a roast potato in my third pocket and 2 sprouts in my fourth pocket and some Chrissy pud in my fifth pocket. That's right, I got a lot of pockets, so I had a nice cosy time in the kennel watching all the latest movies on my smartphone device. It's okay though. I like sleeping in the kennel, and if I need a pee or a poo, I can simply do it in the garden and wipe my anus on the grass like a dog does. Speaking of which, we're getting a new dog apparently, so I don't know how that's going to work out, and the new dog's going to be one of those XL bullies, and the kennel ain't that big, so hopefully I'll be allowed back in the house. My cousin Richard is staying with us at the moment. And he has a sore back, so needs to sleep in our marital bed because it's the most comfy for him, and I totally understand. I think he'll be going in a week or two though, so fingers crossed. By the way guys, I'm recording this on my phone, and that's because my cousin Richard is using my laptop. Yeah, he really needs it for his work apparently. And that's cool. I normally use my Philips mic and I just plug that straight into the laptop computer and hey pesto. But yeah, I can't do that the mo, which is an abbreviation of moment. Yeah. So luckily my phone is the Wilson 17QT and it has a record audio function, which is a small tape recorder gaffer taped to the actual phone. And I've got some tapes that are 5-minute long tapes, and then when I've recorded all my material, I send the tapes to the guy that makes fuggcast. This episode is sponsored by Glorby, Spencer and Michael St. Glorb, Soup Masters. When I fancy a nice carton of warmish soup, it has to be Glorby, Spencer and Michael St. Glorb, Soup Masters soup. There are 3 flavours to choose from: original, spicy and potato. I like original flavour, but then I also like spicy and potato too. If you want to try the Soup Masters range, you need to go to Glorby's house, knock on the door and ring the bell and shout so loud, otherwise he won't hear you over his loud drum and bass music that he listens to all the time. Then you simply tell Glorby which soup you'd like, and hopefully he'll heat it up for you while you wait in the sitting room. His old dad will be in the sitting room watching TV, and I'll just warn you, he's very unfriendly and changes the channels constantly, but hopefully you'll only be there for a few minutes, 2 hours tops. And yeah, do check that Glorby is heating up your soup, because there's a good chance he'll forget. Okay, later on I shall be reviewing all films of the year 2024. But before that, I'd like you to imagine it's the year 2030. And they're like flying cars and spaceships and that. And yes, I've written a script for a sci-fi film. And in just a wee moment, you will hear a bit of it acted out by myself and wife. She didn't want to do it, but I said I'd pay her, so she said she would do it for £500. The other actor is my cousin Richard. He plays several roles actually, not that well. So anyway, let me set the scene. Jack Hackett is a bounty hunter, and he is a robot sidekick called Dan, and he's looking for a space criminal called the name Bobby, who is played very badly by my cousin Richard. And yeah, so this scene is set in a space bar, and Jack has a tip that maybe the bar droid called Tina might know where Bobby is, so he tries to get some info out of her. Do you know a bad guy called the name Bobby? Tell me now or I'll shoot you with my laser gun.
I don't know anyone called the name Bobby. I'm a droid and as such, not interested in people's names. I just serve drinks. I'm a robot, you see, and not conscious. I'm a machine. Also, I'm laser-proof.
Okay, fair enough. Can I have a pint of green space ale, please?
Yes, of course. That will be 9 credits.
I only have 7 credits in my account. Do you think you could let me owe you 2 credits? When I catch this bad villain, I will earn some big space bucks.
No, sorry, as I said, I'm a droid and have no empathy or emotions. I was created to serve drinks and collect credits for the drinks.
Hey, I was overhearing what you're asking the bar droid, and I know of a guy with the name Bobby.
What? Oh cool, is he a bad villain?
Not really. He's a nice guy. Although he did once point at my hat and say "nice hat, mate," in a kind of sarcastic voice. And that made me a bit self-conscious. And so I stopped wearing that hat, and now my head is so cold.
That's too bad, man. Too bad. Yes, so where can I find this guy?
Oh, I don't know. I only met him once. He seemed nice, but then he made fun of my hat. Maybe he was being genuine when he said "nice hat." Maybe I'm just paranoid.
Yeah, maybe. Well, see ya.
Yes, okay, bye.
Well, what do you think, guys? It's a work in progress, you know, and that's all I got so far. I'm thinking that perhaps Jack never finds Bobby and spends all his time talking to people in bars, and he gets more and more frustrated, and also has to bum drinks and space cigarettes off people because he's skint. My wife said it was a really good start, but then she looked at my cousin Richard and they both sniggered, and I said, oh, right, well, maybe it would be better with some actors who could actually act and don't read out their lines like bloody robots. Then my wife said, I thought I was playing a robot. And I didn't have a good comeback, so I stormed off to my kennel and watched some movies on my phone. Here's some sad music I composed. So, what's it like to make a movie? Let's find out when I interview film director Kathy. Kathy has written and directed one film that's called Dog Bollocks, about a mad scientist who replaces his bollocks with the bollocks of a dog. And oh yes, he and his wife have been trying for a baby with no success until he installs the dog bollocks. And then, hey pesto, his wife is pregnant. But wait, because the baby is a half dog, half human. That's right, dog head and human body. Oh yes, and he grows up to be a mad scientist like his father, and one day decides to replace his human bollocks with a pair of badger bollocks. And he and his wife have been trying for a baby with little success. But then with the badger balls, his wife becomes pregnant, and yes, the baby has a badger head, dog torso, human legs, and frog arms, and sheep eyes, and I don't know why. Okay, so I have Kathy on the phone right now. Hi, Kathy. Yes. Yes. That's right. Yes. Avery Wayne. Yes. Oh, indeed. So Kathy, what's it like to make a film? Yes. Ooh, interesting. Yes. Definitely. Do you plan on making another film? Oh no. Why not? Yes. Oh, I see. Fair enough. Okay, bye. Film special with Avery Wade is sponsored by Soap Soup. That's right. Now you can wash your hands and also your body with soap-scented soup. It comes in 3 different flavours of peach soup, tomato soup, and of course, blue paint. And are the soups edible? No, you're not supposed to eat them. I did, and it wasn't that nice for me, and I had tummy ache and it turned my jobbies blue. Maybe you could eat the tomato one. I don't know. I ate the blue paint one and I wouldn't recommend it, guys. Okay, on with the show.
This Easter, why not? Hang on, does your father like sausage? He does. Then why not get him a hamper of Easter sausage? There are all 3 kinds of Easter sausage in there. Original, spicy, and salty. He'll love it. And if you care about your father, you'll also get him an Easter mustard hamper. Oh, and what kinds of mustard are in it? Well, thanks for asking. There is whole grain, English, and also Welsh, which is the same as English but a bit rummier.
I'd like to welcome to the studio our kennel, my cousin Richard, and I shall ask him of his favourite films. Hi Richard, welcome to Kennel.
Hello. It's a bit cold, and to be honest, I'd rather be in the house, you know.
Oh yes, well, so would I, of course, but I'm paying you $500 for this, so just play along, right? Richard, what's your all-time favourite film starring Tom Hanks?
The Swedish Connection or something.
Yes, that's very good. I like that one too. And now what is your favourite film starring John Travolta?
Rastov.
Oh, fab. Yes, mine too. He played the trumpet case, didn't he? And Richard, my final question is going to make you a bit uncomfortable. Would you rather sit in a chair made of metal and it's all covered in spikes? Or would you rather sit on a chair made of glass and it's all sharp bits?
The glass one. Can I go now?
And now I can reveal some up-and-coming films of the year. Rat and Mouse stars Steve Carell as a CGI rat and Martin Freeman as a CGI mouse, and they're best pals all throughout this in a CGI film. The rat and the mouse look exactly like Steve Carell and Martin Freeman, because as you know, they both look exactly like rat and mouse, and anyway, they both fall in love with a half-eaten doner kebab played by wonderful Nicole Kidman. But of course, Martin Freeman is a house mouse, and can he survive outside, so he dies. Sorry for spoiling the film, guys, but you can't watch it anyway because it's streaming exclusively in my head. Next up from director Rob comes an exciting tale of a heist movie. There's an old guy, a muscly guy, a hot woman, a guy with glasses, and also others too, and apparently they steal some priceless diamonds. Oh yes. And the police are trying to find out who would spoil the fun of a film which is all snazzy heist movie scenes. Who did it? It's the third and only other film coming this year directed by Seb. And can you guess who did it? Who did what? What an awful murder, of course. And it can't be the butler because he's the one who is actually dead. This looks like a classic Who Did It film and stars my neighbour Andrew as the famous detective of the same name and director Seb as his grown-up stepson, and he filmed it on his phone. But it looks really good though, and this is a film that really exists. I didn't just imagine it, or maybe I did. It's hard to know, isn't it? How's it going so far, guys? Do you love this Avery Wade special podcast so far? Oh yeah. Thanks, guys. It's a wee bit cold at the moment, too cold to be sleeping in the kennel, and I've a plan of how to get back into my own house. Yes, I'm going to disguise myself as one of my relatives and say, I've come to stay, and surely that will work. And hey pesto, I'll be back in. I don't expect to sleep in my marital bed because Richard's still there and he's got a bad back. But of course, I already told you that and very little time's passed since I told you that. Anyway, I have an American cousin called Mac Racket. He's an amateur tennis player. I'm laughing because I just made that up. I don't really have an American cousin. Not at all. But my wife doesn't know that, and she'll surely fall for my cunning plan. How will I disguise myself? Why, with dark glasses, tennis hat, tennis jumper, and tennis trousers, of course, and an American voice like this. I'll say, hi there, my name's Mac Racket, and I'm Avery Wayne's cousin, you hear, and I'm an American amateur tennis player, and I've come to stay. And she will let me in. What about when my wife delivers my daily meal and I'm not in the kennel? Don't worry about that because I'm going to make a dummy that looks like me and stuff it in the kennel and she'll never know. And what's my wife finds me terribly attractive is tennis man Mac Racket. And she goes in for a kiss but then smells my yeasty smell and says, is that you, Avery? But don't worry, for I will douse myself in tennis aftershave, of course, so that won't happen. And now, another piece of sad music that I wrote on my keyboard. Yeah, it's an old Yamaha one from the 90s. It's pretty good. And I wrote this in the minor key, which I find to be the saddest of them all. Are you a guy that always has a boner? Is it stopping you from achieving your goals, like in a business meeting, when you're doing a PowerPoint presentation, or when you're in a shop buying 2 melons, and then you see your old school teacher, and she looks younger than she did 30 years ago, and she sees you've got a boner, and she whacks it with a ruler, like when you were at school. So yeah, we're getting a new dog. No, not a new dog. I don't even know what an og is, do I? No, a new dog. My wife wants one of those XL bullies, but not me. I prefer a nice little sausage dog. A veggie sausage dog, obviously, because I'm a strict vegetarian and I would name her Jill. And we can share the kennel and go on very short walks together. And my neighbour, Pete Waterford, will say, hi, Avery, is that a new dog? And I will say, yes. Her name is Jill, but oh, he won't be listening because he's looking at his smartphone.
This spring, why not surprise your father by dressing up as an anthropomorphic sausage guy and hiding in his downstairs toilet? And when he opened the toilet door, you can go, boo, I've come to eat you up. But wait, does your father have a dodgy ticker? Yes? And do you stand to inherit vast sums of money if he die? Yes. But wait again, does he use downstairs toilet or does he do his morning jobs in the upstairs bathroom? Maybe you'll be in there a while, lad.
Oh hey, hi there guys, welcome back. I'm looking for sponsors at the moment. Yeah, I'm doing a sponsored swim and I've managed to get 3 sponsors so far. That's my friend Michael from the shop, my other friend Weichel from the other shop, and a woman I met on the bus. My wife says it's a waste of time because I don't have any strength in my arms. And I said, you're missing the point. I already have £3, and if I manage to get another £3, I can pay off my tab at the pub, and then I can go back in there and run up another tab. I didn't say I was doing the swim for charity, by the way. I was purposely vague about it. I did say I'd be swimming the Scotch Channel, though, which was probably a mistake in hindsight. This episode is sponsored by my neighbour, Pete. Yeah, he had a very loud party on New Year's Eve, and I went over with my tennis racket and tennis ball, and I threatened to whack the tennis ball at his hi-fi system if he didn't turn it down. And I said I'd whack the tennis ball at his guests if they didn't stop speaking so loudly, and they all looked so scared. So yeah, Pete came round the next morning with some fruit, and I said, what's this? I don't eat fruit, but I do accept card payments. So it's the moment you've all been waiting for when I talk of my favourite films of 2024. You may have thought that I meant 2025, but no, that wasn't a good year for films, but 24 was. Brillo. First up is Hotel Manager New Blood, which of course is the latest movie in the series of hotel manager films and stars Paul as the manager of a small hotel in Torquay. And in this film he hires a new kitchen porter who's called the name Reg. He does a pretty good job, and so did director Susan, who managed to make another classic film. I give it 2 thumbs up. Absolute Shite 17QM is the latest installment in the franchise of Absolute Shite from producer Joel, about a filmmaker who makes films that are absolute shite. And in this 17th Quimith film, filmmaker James makes yet another film that is absolute shite. But of course this film about a guy making a film is absolute gold, and it gets 2 thumbs up from this guy. Next up is Butt Pack 10D, which is the latest in the series of Butt Pack, about a woman called Carol who has a bag that looks like an actual arse, and she wears it on her actual arse. And in Butt Pack 10D, you can see the butt pack in all 10 dimensions, which is alarming to say the least. I mean, I've never experienced more than 3 dimensions, unless wait, is time the 4th dimension? Well, 4 then. Anyway, this film gets 10 thumbs up from I. Scraping the Barrel 17HT is the latest of films in the Scraping the Barrel franchise, which once again stars Tom as an old man called Hugh, who has an old barrel that's painted bright grey, and he has to scrape all the grey paint out of it because he wants to paint it a slightly darker shade of grey. But of course, like in all the other films, his progress is impeded by a whole manner of things, like chatty women, chatty man, another chatty woman, seagull, rain, big dog, lunch, etc. Oh, this is my best film of the series so far, and spoiler alert, he eventually paints the barrel a really lovely shade of the colour grey. Yay! 2 old grey thumbs up! Chipped Cup 37 XTBS 99D is the latest installment in the franchise series of Chip Cup 3, once again starring Laura as a nice normal lady who discovers that she's a chip in one of her cups. In the previous film she always discovers a chip in one of her cups, but this one is totally different, man. Yeah, in this one she finds a chip in one of the cups in her terracotta bra. Disaster alert! So she has to get her husband Chip, who's a potter by trade, to make her another one, and he does, and all is well for now. This film is really superb, with wonderful acting by Jill as Laura and Glenn as Chip and Samuel Jackson as the grumpy neighbour Stephanie. Wow, if I had 3 thumbs, I'd give it 2.5 thumbs. Wicked! Hi, I'm Jack Packett, and I play the cat of Avery. I'm just interrupting the countdown of best films to tell you about a really cool drawing I just did, which was of a karate guy chopping an onion with his hand, and I guess he's like a karate chef guy because he's wearing a tall chef hat and it looks like he's crying. Is it because of the onion, or is he a sad guy? I don't know, it's just a quick sketch I did while I was waiting for my grown-up stepson, Maurice, to finish in the bathroom. Chick Pup 37QX Recurring is the latest movie of Chick Pup 3, once again starring the voice of Jackie Chan, the CGI baby chicken with the head of a dog, and Jackie Chan plays himself as everywhere Humphrey Bogart as usual, which is always fun. In this film, Chick Pup eats a load of horse feces and feels a bit unwell, and also gets a girlfriend. And they're watching a movie, kissing and that, when, oh no, Chick Pup vomits all the half-digested horse jobbies into his new girlfriend's face and mouth, and she's also a baby chicken but with a head of a pig. It's simply a smashing film, and it made me cry. 2 thumbs up! You've Got a Hot Chick on Your Shoulder is the next movie I'll talk of. Yes, indeed. A man called the name Chip has a tiny, beautiful woman on his shoulder that only he can see in his peripheral vision. And if he looks directly at her, she vanishes. And she's really good looking and also naked. And he finds this a bit frustrating. But on his other shoulder is a tiny pile of horse feces, and he can see that just fine. And so can everyone else. And they say, "Hey mate, you've got some shit on your shoulder, mate." And he says, "Yes, I know. I can't get rid of this imaginary or something." And anyway, at the end of the film, he's looking at the tiny naked woman in his peripheral vision and cracking off one. Oh, fucking hell. He's looking at the tiny naked woman in his peripheral vision and cracking one off, and some of the horse shit on his right shoulder falls onto his actual penis just as he climaxes. Needless to say, this film gets 1.5 thumbs up. Human Jobbies 40 plus 57T3 X9 PPFDQ TTT6 #_ 44 P9T is a lovely new film in the series of Human Jobbies films, and once again stars Howard as Robin, a man that once again steps in a big pile of jobbies and suspects that it's human jobbies. And in this particular film, he tries to wipe his shoe in some grass to get rid of the turd. But guess what? The grass is covered in human jobbies, and he goes, "Ah! And well, what can I say about this film other than perfect? 2 plump and shiny thumbs up, guys. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Help support Fuggcast on the site that's called Buy Me a Coffee. The link is in the show notes. You could also give this show a 5-star rating on Apple or Spotify, or what have you. Go on guys, I know you can do it.